Tell me about you mentioned about getting investment and funding and all of that. One thing I'm finding in India at least, and which is why I'm actually going to be approaching foreign investors, because Indian investors, what I'm finding is that they're very risk averse, and they want everything perfect. They've got to have so many users. You've got to be earning so much. They want monthly revenue of 10 lakhs, 1 crore yearly revenue. I mean,
For
if
a
I have
startup, it's not possible.
yeah, no, if I have that, then I don't need that. It's
Correct.
like
Absolutely.
catch 22. So,
Yes, it's a catch 22
so,
position.
so how did you secure the funding, if I may?
So, for one aspect to the funding part was that if you've seen, India has launched a very good thing related to MSMEs. So it's
Yes.
like you can, register yourself as an MSME and you do get funding from banks and through those things. One help was from that area. Another thing, you have various educational investors so you have various investors who want to invest in a particular field. Maybe
Right.
someone is only for the environmental part, someone is only for the tech part. So there were a couple of you whom I got in touch, and for the education part, we were able to receive it. It was not that the first person whom we contacted, we got the funding. It was a really long
Yes.
process. So I can say maybe I would have contacted around 100 people, and one person or two people, gave me a reply for it, and out of them, one person helped me with a little bit of the funding part.
Really? Wow. Okay.
So
I would have imagined EdTech would have a little more positivity in the funding world, because it's a little bit more established, and I would say there's a high probability of success, as opposed to my startup, which is much more tech oriented. With they are much more risk averse
correct.
to that. So I think maybe that's
That
also
is that's also true, but still, what we were just talking about a little while ago, that they want to see the revenue in the books every
yes.
month to be at a particular level. So it is actually a catch 22 position. I'm
Yeah.
asking for funding because I need to do an investment so that I can start earning my revenue.
Right.
So that is actually just like going round and round. So it has been tough. I
So
mean, in 100 investors, only two response and one person I've been able to get it from. So
yeah,
it has been a tough thing.
that's
Yeah,
rough. And especially, I think at this point, we could say your startup's successful, or
I
uh,
can say that it is still growing.
okay,
I can say definitely better than the previous days, and yes, successful. I can say, but yes,
like
a long
positive
way to go.
EBITDA,
Positive,
positive
positive.
EBITDA, right? So,
Yes,
so yeah.
positive.
So I would imagine then they would really be open to funding you, right? Or still, it's they are not that
It's
enthusiastic.
still risk averse for
Really?
everyone
Wow.
because the revenue that they are wanting to see on the books is then, and the projections that they want and all, is it does not go in a very smooth manner, right?
Actually, so their expectations are even higher.
Even higher.
Wow.
So,
That's I know why they're even in it.
and if
Why?
you see, the startup has not been there like for 5 years, 7 years or something. It's
Huh.
been there like maybe for 3, 4 years. So it is still at a growing stage, you can
Right.
say, right? So you cannot expect it to suddenly overturn
Yeah,
and
yeah.
earn such a big revenue. If that was the case, I would not need funding.
Exactly. Anyway, yeah. So, how about foreign funding? Have you considered maybe Singapore, UAE, and all that?
Actually, that's a good thought. I would like to explore it. Until now, I've not explored it, but yeah, that's a good thought.
Because I have my US background also. I'm gonna be. I spoke to a friend there just a day ago, and all. So I'm planning to make a trip there and
Okay.
pursue that. So I think because there they fund by vision. They'll see the vision. If they like the vision, then they'll do it, as opposed to all the
All the
revenue and all that
projections.
has to be there, which it cannot for a startup.
Correct.
It's a
Right. That's a good
so
thing. I should
um,
explore that.
yeah,
Yes.
hopefully.
Yeah.
You've mentioned process a lot. I myself am a bit of a process expert, you can say, because I'm certified at almost the expert level at ITIL, ITIL, IT
Mm-hmm.
Infrastructure
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Library, and I had the Six Sigma Black Belt certification, which
Oh,
has
wow.
expired, PMP as well, and all of that.
Mhm.
So, what processes are you
So, a couple of
prevalent in?
processes that I have worked on previously. One was related to posting and promotion. So, in any government organization, there is a way for the posting. Say, for example, if I'm a particular person working in Ladakh, Now, tomorrow I cannot again be sent for the next 10 years in Ladakh itself because it's such a high altitude area, right? Or it could be something related to the work. If I'm in a particular department, then tomorrow I should be shifted to another department. Rotation of work should definitely be there so that, frauds and everything is also less, correct? So, the posting process I had really enjoyed a lot, where it was, the each and every civilian officer or an army officer in the department that I was working, what was the basis of their posting? Which area can they be posted to? It was based on education, it was based on vacancy, it was based on the requirement, it was based on are their kids studying in 12th, it was based on their promotion in the future, grading, their education, everything. So, we had to consolidate all of these regulations, laws, and then we had to automate that entire process and create
Got
it in
it.
a manner that, the software is going to be able to automatically post people or give them a choice at why this particular person should be posted. So that was one of the process. Another process was with respect to HR, payroll, or these kind of processes or the accounting processes.
So what you did was maybe rewrite the processes and make them more efficient?
Yes. Rewrite the process and make them more efficient. And when something is automated, it's as good as saying that, oh, the system has done it. We cannot really change it. Otherwise, if there's too much power in one person's hand, then he can always override it. In a system, there is a trail that is maintained. There are logs that are maintained. So it's more better.
Cool. Yeah, no, obviously everything can always be optimized. I can, even though my code is working, I can always optimize it and make it faster. I can make it less lines of code. I'm curious more about the creativity part of making education something that makes the students more creative and more effective in the real world. So tell me more about how ICCA does that.
So see, firstly, if you've heard about the behavioral science part, correct? So they all say that, if you are going to be like, especially with the Gen Zers, that you need to make them study goal-oriented wise. So it's like you make them short-term goals and long-term goals. That was the first part. Second part is, I'm trying to create an environment where they're going to be very curious about the concept and the application, and not just, okay, we can just mug this up and we can just reproduce.
Can you give me an example of how you do that? Give me a concept and how, like, let's say I'm a student, how do you make me more curious about that concept?
So if I talk about any concepts, say, related to, say, behavioral economics. So this is one of the projects that some of my students had done. I told them that outside their college, I had told them some concepts of behavioral economics like cognitive biases and all, and then I told them outside your college, it's filled with the cigarette butts. Like there is so much of litter, especially the cigarette butts. So I said, now all of you are going to be trying to apply a concept of this behavioral science, and within a week's time, when I come to the college, I should not see that cigarette butt. So they had brainstorming sessions. They came up with such wonderful ideas. The idea that we implemented was, they're like, let's do one thing. IPL, World Cup, all these matches were going on. So they put up 2 transparent dustbins. One dustbin had that and the question was, so there were like 2 transparent dustbins and the question was on the top. Who do you think is going to win the match today? Hyderabad or Bangalore? And, it was based on that, okay, the number of cigarette butts people are going to be putting in that dustbin. It's like, that was like a voting system. But we were able to achieve something that, okay, the litter is gone.
Beautiful. Yeah.
So they were able to apply that concept that, okay, we do not want to impose a fine on people for littering, but we want them to make them feel that, yes, you should not be littering. So instead of that imposed thing, we were trying to do it through the behavioral aspect, and we achieved it.
Great,
so
wonderful.
When you come to Pune, I will show you this.
Nice. Oh, send me a screenshot.
Definitely.
On my WhatsApp.
Yes.
Yeah, wonderful. That's, that's what India needs, more of that. One, it reminded me of a story I'd heard a few years back where they did something similar to stop the spitting, people spitting. So what they were doing was, instead of just having a wall, they put paint pictures of God, Ganesh and Ram and Shiv and all that. And so then people won't spit because you're spitting on God, right? So that solved that problem. It's kind of fascinating how that works. So yeah, please go on. So tell me more. You were going on about how you're doing that.
Correct. So this was that a concept was taught, and we told them that okay, pick up a real life problem and apply the concepts. In this manner, they started to learn okay, how do we apply this particular concept? They all came together, and that environment was created that okay, we are not competitors, but we are here to create something together. So that competition was basically killed in that particular manner. So these are some of the techniques that we try to use while teaching. So it's more of a project based. So even if I talk about finance, say for example, stock market or cryptocurrency market. So what we generally do is we tell them that okay, let's have these. You have these sites, like dummy sites where you can say like, oh, you've got one CR here, and let's learn about the strategies. So every strategy we teach them, we tell them that okay, now let us try to implement this strategy and let us now analyze what is happening to your portfolio. So, is it increasing, is it reducing, or what is it? So, in this manner, they are trying to apply these things and they are able to analyze it. Okay, what was the reason for the decrease or the increase in portfolios? So, these are some of the techniques. It is very time taking, but
Right.
yes, it is interesting.
No, but that's great because that's will make them effective in the real world
Correct.
and jobs and whatnot, and even especially entrepreneurship. That's how you solve problems. You get together and brainstorm.
Absolutely.
I'm doing that all the time myself with my team. So, but one thing I'm curious about as a Gen X myself, what is unique about Gen Z? What is they're different in their psychology? And I'm not criticizing them at all. I actually like the way they go about things myself.
So, Gen Z, they will question you on everything. So, if I just go back slightly in time, if you look at like my parents' generation or even above that, they are told to do something, they will do it. They are told to sit, they'll sit. Gen Z will tell you, why are you asking me to sit? Why should I do this? Why can't I do it in a different manner? So they want to know the logic and the concept of everything. If they get the answer and they feel it is right, they will. Otherwise, they will not. That is the first thing. Second thing that I found is that their thinking is more about follow your passion. So I feel there a little bit of balance needs to be
Yes.
made between follow your passion and pay your bills.
Right.
So there's always going to be a tension between both of them. So I feel that balance has to be made, which I feel maybe the Gen Z still has to learn about it. Not against them, but yeah.
No, obviously, yeah. I mean, what is there something positive about the Gen Z that you say?
The asking why is very positive, because these are the people who are questioning that why can't this entire thing be done in a better manner. Only when you start questioning you can come up with an idea and create something that is more efficient. So I really feel this is something, one of the best things, that they do not accept that just do this or do that. They will
Don't
always
do it
question.
blindly.
Yes. And that is how they will be like that, okay, if this is taking say 10 minutes, why can't it take a shorter time? Or if we are doing this particular thing, why can't it be done in a more efficient manner, or in
Right.
an
Better
efficient
way.
way? Correct.
I go to various events and various sort of meetups and whatnot. And one thing just a month ago, I was at this marketing meet at a five-star hotel, and it was all these marketing heads were there, and they were just complaining about Gen Zs. And I actually spoke up for the Gen Z side. I'm like, no, they're just responding to today's world. I would say, like stay up at 2 in the morning and make Insta posts. But you need to do that. I'm doing that.
Even I'm doing that.
So, and that's just the world we live in today. So, but then their concept was that they're lazy, they don't come on time, whatever. What would you say to that? Would you agree with me that they're just not getting the environment they need at those companies?
So, I feel environment at companies is not something that can be changed for a particular generation. So, I feel that balance will have to be made where the Gen Z will also need some kind of discipline, because, when you're running a
Right.
huge organization, there are things that would need to happen at time. There are going to be things, processes, systems that have to be followed. correct? So I feel that is something that Gen Z will have to learn. However, their questioning, their creativity is something that we as companies should definitely learn. That is another aspect. And just to add on to that, like even in the education field, I have seen so many teachers saying, "Oh, this generation सिर्फ mobile में रहता है." But mobile is a part of the life.
Yeah.
So we have to, you cannot remove that thing now. It's going to be that I'm using the technology to educate them. So if I'm making a reel which is interesting, maybe that is something getting hooked on, and maybe that is something that, okay, they want to see. So it's not that they're going to be, seeing all nonsensical reels. They will
Right.
be seeing informative reels.
Yeah, you can get a degree on your phone.
Correct. But if you're going to tell them to read a book, they will not. They prefer more of the media part. Correct. So now that shift has to happen.
And that ties into the next thing I wanted to ask you very nicely, which is, and I've seen this myself also, that learning is more like turning into 15-minute reels
Correct.
or shorts or videos, whatever you want to call them. And I myself am constantly on YouTube, but I'm not wasting time. I'm going to all these channels where, either it's news or it's some sort of information type thing or some course on, marketing or whatnot, which is what I'm kind of looking at right now. So, would you agree, as you're in the world of education yourself, that maybe courses should be 15-minute length courses? Or
So, 15-minute, like a short course is good because even the attention span is really less. But at the same time, I feel that the complex courses may
Right.
not be able to be made. Like, I am facing that problem. I've been genuinely trying to make short, like, just cut down the duration of the concept teaching or of the course, but then it does get difficult for the complex courses.
right, obviously, yeah, some complex stuff will have to it'll take
Will have
time.
to be- But a different media can be used, like you're using maybe the videos or the animated PPTs or these
Yeah.
things. So,
Or even breaks in between, like
or even breaks. in
so
between. Correct.
it takes 1 hour to do the complex part, but you take breaks every 15 minutes.
Correct.
And then shift to a different style.
Style, yes. Correct. Right.
Yeah. Anything else you can say about innovating education, especially for India? What does India need more than anything else, more than other countries, would you say, in the world of education?
In the world of education, I guess India still needs to firstly adopt a lot of digital content. Like, when we are teaching, and that too we are teaching the younger generation, it has to be using the technology and the tech media to keep them hooked onto it and to help them and to generate the inquisitiveness in them. That is one aspect. We are still just looking at the old methods of teaching. Another important thing is that India needs to probably change the education system of the examination, which is completely based on memory.
Yes.
And the third thing that I honestly feel is that maybe the content that is being taught in colleges and schools, that really needs to be revamped.
How about the disparity of education in India? What I mean by that is, like, the poorer people who can't afford to pay lakhs and lakhs to prestigious, institutions, which anyway they probably won't even qualify for. Then they get a very, substandard education. They go to sort of, I don't know, government institutes or whatever, where, there's rats running around and whatnot. So, what about that? Do you have any comment on that, like the disparity part?
Absolutely. I guess as the government is trying to take initiatives, however, that disparity of income, or you can also say the Gini index, has just been increasing and increasing.
The what index?
The Gini index.
For the viewers, can you?
Oh, sorry, that is just an economics language, maybe that comes out. Gini index is basically an index that we use to measure the disparity in income, where we say that the rich get richer and the poor get poorer.
Okay, yeah.
So that concept is called as the Gini index, basically.
Really? Okay.
So yeah, that was just some economics coming out of me, but okay. So when I'm talking about the disparity in income part, I feel what my suggestion or recommendation would genuinely be that the government schools need to have a complete revamp. Only when the government schools, because see, these people are genuinely poor, they are not going to be able to afford the high-end schools or the institutes. So till the time at the ground level, the government schools are not revamped, from the rats getting shifted to maybe Microsoft whiteboards or something like that. It's not going to be possible for these people to come up.
Right.
However, one more point is that now all of them are also connected with the internet somehow.
Right.
And because of that, also, I feel that their education would be pulled up because all of them know about YouTube channels, they know about Insta. So, education through that digital media, which may be free of cost, also, is going to help, pull them up.
Do you think that is something that educational institutes like yours, for example, could do, where you have very strong presence on stuff like these kind of channels, and you offer your courses through there?
We do, in fact.
Okay.
We do tie up with, like small places or maybe like a small village or something where we do tell them that, we are going to be offering this particular course. However, and it's free of cost. So it runs for them maybe on a tab or something, and they can definitely view it. Only thing is sometimes what happens is, if it depends who is going to be viewing that particular course. If I talk about a finance course, maybe a 12th standard person may not be able to understand a course.
Right.
Or maybe a person who is a little bit of finance accounting background is too weak, then this course may not be for him. So a lot depends on how your schooling has been done up to 12th maybe.
Right. And then that's again where the disparity comes in, because
Correct.
someone at that college, they're, even though they may have done 12th, they're not really at that 12th level just because of the
Absolutely.
poor conditions of the school. So then they'll have difficulty taking that class, even though
Absolutely.
supposedly they should be able to take it because
So
they're
even
12
if,
past.
even up to 12th, if content is offered through digital media or something by the top schools or even by the government schools, it's going to be, I guess, it's going to be accessible to more number of people, and it could just help pull up these people.
Yeah, hopefully. So we are getting close to running out of time. Did you have any sort of final bits of advice for our viewers on doing a startup? Anyone of our viewers who's thinking of doing a startup or in the middle of a startup, what advice would you give them?
My advice would be that entrepreneurship and startup definitely gives you a kick in life. However, I can say that there will be times when you're definitely going to be feeling very low. Success is not going to be coming very easily. It's not that tomorrow you start and today you are able to earn money. That's not going to happen. It's good amount of time. So I feel the first thing is that you should plan.
Yes.
Plan about the product. What is the exact product you want to develop and deliver? Secondly, plan the market. Is it
Yes.
a particular city? Is it a particular age group, or is it a particular gender, or whom do you want to deliver the product to? Thirdly, start doing marketing. So you will have to set a budget aside. Personally, I feel the world is on social media. So social media, you have to, become famous there. That
Yes.
is the way ahead.
You have to build your brand.
You have to build your brand. And lastly, you have to keep in mind that it's not overnight success. So give it at least 2 years or 3 years. It's not in months, but 2 to 3 years. Please give it some time before you decide that this is not working.
If I may add another question to that, is there something in your entrepreneurial journey so far that stands out that you might want to change? That if you could go back in time, you'd do that one thing different.
Very good question. I'll have to think about
Yeah.
Maybe one thing would have been that I should have been able to start earlier. That is
Well, I think you started
thing.
quite early anyway, right? I mean,
still. And another thing that would have been is that, probably the social marketing that I was doing earlier was very, very less and very, was not very too much
Yeah.
on the social media. So once it started to succeed, once the startup started to take off, it was that, okay, now we don't need marketing. Why do you want to be on social media? So I feel that was one aspect that was wrong. And the third point that Sir only told me that, maybe I should also look up for foreign funding. So probably if I would have looked at that, today we would have been at a different place.
yeah. Cool. Just to add my own personal perspective to that is, I would say in my case, now it's a tech startup, so things are going to be a little bit different. But in my case, get the team together. My biggest thing that I did, I wish I could have done differently, was get a proper team in place, because I moved forward without the correct people in place. So things, were not, didn't go exactly according to plan, and product market fit wasn't exactly right, and so on. So I think in something like a tech startup, definitely you want a team in place. very
Absolutely. So
much.
in my case, it was more initially like a one-man army because I had started off by myself and then I started to create a team. However, to add a point to the team, I definitely feel in a startup there are mainly two kinds of people should be there. One is a dreamer and one is a doer. So I
Okay.
feel one who's a dreamer is like, you are able to innovate new kind of things, deliver new kind of things. And the doer is the person who's coming out of the dreams and working towards it. So I feel if you are the same person, it is good. But if each team member has got that vision, it's, you can probably grow faster. So,
Yeah, I like that. I like that. What I've heard on that note is, team members that complement each other. So, like, if I'm a tech guy, then I should have the marketing,
absolutely, yeah.
that sort of thing. So, was there an area that you were like weaker in your startup that you
So I
needed?
was very weak in social media marketing.
Okay.
I knew nothing about it. If you ask me that, okay, how am I supposed to create a reel or something, or as simple as what is SEO or something, I did not. So the first team member that I wanted was someone who can, take up this particular part. But when they are taking up this part, they have to understand the vision. They have to understand the market. Maybe it wasn't offered to everyone, so that understanding of the market and all was
Right.
something. Thankfully, we've got good members now, but yes, social media marketing is something like not my cup of tea types.
Right. Well, that was very, very insightful, very informative. I'm sure our viewers got a lot of valuable lessons from all of that. So, thank you so much for joining us today, Ishika. And Ishika's information is going to be in the description below. Everyone, please comment on the video and let's have a lively discussion on this podcast. And other than that, thank you, Ishika, and hopefully we'll see you here again.
Yes, thank you so much for this particular opportunity.